All right, so on social media, I'm seeing a lot more grassroots conflicts, rubbing shoulders, especially with ordinary people, Christians alike, but with Muslims and Islam. And so I want to talk a little bit about some of these posts, how it's a bit taboo and how people are kind of dodging the situation, but it's actually more scary, more important than people think. So let's get into it. All right, so right now, if you don't know, Islam is actually the fastest growing major religion in the world. So the population has already reached 2 billion people, accounting for roughly a quarter of the world's population. And if you are a believer, it's concerning in that you want to spread the gospel to all the nations. You want people to come to know Christ. And again, this is not proselytizing and shoving religion down your throat, but in terms of allowing the truth to get out there, people to experience the joy and satisfaction of who Christ is. When you're seeing something like this is very concerning. This is not Islamophobia. It's not hate. It's not any of that. It's saying that you don't have the full truth. The same goes for somebody in an ideological perspective. You don't know what sin is versus righteousness and holiness and what is godly in the eyes of God, idol worship versus true worship, and all of that dichotomy. With all this happening, a lot of this is going on in various places domestically here in the U.S. as well, especially in the U.S. And in certain countries like in Japan, there's a lot of video coming out about Muslims complaining with the options in pork, people having to bend over backwards to accommodate certain dietary and health and Islamic law, and people supposedly blaring, their calls to prayer, Sharia law, and wanting people to accommodate to them and their rituals. And then in Australia, Sydney, there's been just lots of issues with having loudspeakers installed on its minaret and broadcasting the Muslim call to prayer across the local area, and how there was a legal battle locally, and people are, again, blaming racism and Islamophobia. And then in the UK, Muslims are demanding the St. George's Cross be removed from England's flag because the Christian symbol offends them, and the backlash across Britain has been massive. So listen just briefly to what this person is saying.
This is our country. We are here to stay. We are settlers. And also, I would like to point out that some people said, what about the crucifix on the English flag? And it's Crusader history. Well, I responded, if you place a white flag with just England written on that flag, there is no reason in Sharia Islamic law why that would be forbidden. So you are permitted to place a white flag with England written on it without the crucifix. We are not going anywhere.
And all across the world, basically, people are rising up. And here, this poster is saying Brits are rising up to defend their national flag and heritage with zero apologies. This is what happens after years of mass migration with zero demand for assimilation. You don't have to move to a country and then try to erase its identity. The people have had enough. It's time for authorities to stop appeasing every demand and actually defend British culture and values. And this is after a body cam footage has been released of an 18-year-old Henry Nowak of, I think, Southampton in the UK, where they were stabbed and they basically were screaming racism because this other person who was an Islam follower had said that he was being targeted. And so all of this backlash is going on. The nation's going crazy over this unjust killing. And there's just so much more of this. Now, I want to show this quick video of this person talking at a Frisco, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, where he's talking about stopping a mosque from being built. And he has some good points.
Good evening. Okay, so first, my name is Jose Duarte. I won't say where I live specifically. That's my First Amendment right. And I would like to start this with saying that I'm here because I reject, and we, the majority here, reject the construction of the mosque.
Mr. Duarte, can you please speak into the mic?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
We reject the construction of the mosque here in Frisco. In a democracy, the majority rules, and the majority here doesn't want that mosque to be built. It's simple as that. For that reason, today I ask you, the City Council, to reject that proposal. And to all of you here, you're politicians, but you're also humans. I can talk to you like humans. You also have family members, you have girls in your family. You have daughters, you have granddaughters, and they're probably, maybe they'll hear this, or maybe they'll find out somewhere else. So, in Islam, the religious book, the Quran, tells them that 2 women are the equivalent to only 1 man when testifying in court, meaning that a woman is less valuable than a man. Imagine the girls in your family hearing this and knowing you promoted something that sees them as less. Imagine them finding out you're here to approve the construction of something that is used to step on the rights of women all over the world. Women in Islamic countries have less rights than men. For example, 8-year-old girls are forced to marry 60-year-old men and they don't have a say. Then those men rape the girls and they cry, of course, because they want to go back with their families, but their families won't do anything because their religion approves that. When I ask Muslims to condemn groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Taliban, terrorist groups that have killed thousands of American soldiers, we're having Memorial Day in a week, so remember that. They won't condemn them because they won't betray their people or religion. But if they do condemn them, they use something that is called taqiyya, which allows them to lie if that means they're going to protect their lives or protect Islam. So we ask you today, you have us right here, the majority of the American people who don't want this. It's simple as that. And we have the right to vote and to decide in the decisions that are going to affect our sisters or daughters or future granddaughters and all the girls here in the United States and women. We care for them. Muslims say Islam is the religion of peace. Meanwhile, apostasy, which means leaving the religion of Islam in this case, is punished with death. If you leave Islam, you get the death penalty. You guys know that? Now I'll finish with 3 things for everyone to hear. First of all, Jesus Christ is God and the only God. Amen. Second, the majority has the last word, and we the people reject this proposal. Amen. That's it.
So you can hear from this particular young gentleman that he's taking certain points that are in some sense extreme or not good and making some points, good points out of it. But if you want to simplify it, especially as a believer, what you got to understand is that from the perspective of God, there's sin and there's not sin. There's idolatry and there's God worshiping. And so if you look at it from any other thing, ideology, I'm looking at or thinking about LGBTQ, I'm thinking about anything for which it seems uncomfortable, you know something's off in the spirit, but you can't really explain it, and you're trying to justify it by taking the extremes, like radical Islam. You're taking certain laws in Sharia, in the Quran, and all that, and trying to explain it. But all of that can be countered in the sense of, no, there's people that don't practice that, or there's peaceful Muslims or people that pray and do, things that don't really affect other people. But the same thing happens with LGBTQ and people that don't impose it. Some people just, want to have a partner, a gay partner, a lesbian partner, and you don't think it's bad. But the idea here, again, is from a perspective of, is it sin? Is it idolatry? Or not. And you don't want to, in some sense, impose that on somebody and say, oh, this is something that you should do and you shouldn't do, and impose their freedom. What we've got to pray for and ask the Lord for help is that they find the truth and that they can be brought to that truth. And if that involves certain laws being passed to restrict certain things, like bringing up mosques and bringing up all these different things, similar to how you open bathrooms and transgender surgery and all these different things to help facilitate and expedite the growth of this sin, then if you can control it or help it in some sense from a top-down perspective, then you're helping the overall cause of making sure that you are upright, you are holy and righteous before the Lord in terms of sinning or not sinning. And so this is the simplest way, I think, to look at it. And as more and more of this ideology battle is coming up, just like how we fought, or many of us fought from an ideological perspective on LGBTQ, among many other issues. And this is the only one that's coming to my mind, but there's other things that have been fought over the last 20 years, but the same is happening right now. So more and more of this is coming to light across the whole world, but we're seeing it play out here on domestic or U.S. soil, as well as across other homogenous or non-Muslim countries like in Asia. And again, this is not hate speech. It's not saying and condemning the person. It's condemning the sin, the idol worship, the rejection of Christ. But it's not to say that you can't love the person, you can't show grace and mercy to the person, you can't accept them and have dinner with them and lunch with them. It's none of that. It's attempting to understand the prince of the air and this whole ideological concept of pushing certain things on people and how to stop that. Just like how you help stop your brother or sister from sinning by allowing accountability, talking to them, calling it out, praying for them, and allowing the Lord to work and to soften their heart to know and to realize the truth. Just wanted to bring this up, guys, because it has been a hot topic and it's been a little bit more low-key because it's been ongoing in a sense. But I'm just seeing it more and more across my social media and how people are just having to deal with it on a local and day-to-day basis as more and more people are seeing this spread across the world. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Where are we going with this? What do you think needs to happen? any other thoughts that you may have. And also, if you guys want to support me, you guys know I'm listener supported. We're trying to meet our goal every month. It helps me and what I do here and also behind the scenes with ministry. So if you guys want to help me out, all that information is down in the description below at givesendgo.com/chrisyoonyt. I also have PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.